Hey there, tech fans. Today I've got the brand new Lightband Pro 2500, which is the kind of tool or gadget that you didn't know you needed until you used it the first time. And then I promise you, this will be in your tool bag every time you start a new project. Because what this product does is put the right amount of light in front of you when you're working on a project, which means you don't have to have somebody come along and hold a flashlight to try to illuminate the area. And let's be honest, they're never pointing that flashlight where you need it. It's always off to the left, or it's off to the right, or it's shaky. With this, you pop it on your head, you turn it on, and you've got a great amount of light in front of you, and you can focus on that project. And here's the key point, with both of your hands. I really like this product. Now, before I get too deep into the review, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included, and then I'll talk about the product and give you the specifications, because Lightband's a company that makes a lot of products that look like this, but this latest generation is really unique for a couple of different reasons, which I think make it pretty special. And then I'll go outside and do a quick demonstration in the dark to show you what it looks like in my backyard and run through the different modes are available. There's 6 different modes you can turn on with the light, and you'll get a chance to see all of those. And then I'll come back one more time and talk about why I think this product is really unique and something you may want to consider. But anyway, let's get started with the unboxing. So when you first pop open the box, you'll find the Lightband Pro 2500. Again, it's a great unit, totally adjustable. I don't want to call it a headband, but that's kind of what it is. You put it on your head and you've got the lights on the front. The battery slides into the sleeve in the back and it plugs right in there to the USB-C connection on the side. I like the fact that the battery is separate because you can have a second battery and a third battery if you're out in the field and you're working all day and you need light. Maybe you're in a closet or you're in a basement somewhere. You can swap the battery out. Now the battery is powerful. This battery is 3,400 milliampere hours of internal energy, which provides up to 22 hours of use with the headband. And the reason that varies is because depending on the lighting source you're using, the brighter the light, the more energy it's going to drink, so you get less time out of it. But it's got a USB-C connection on the end and a really nice expansion cable right here, which is nice because that's not hanging down and bugging you the whole time. And on this end, you've got a USB-C connection to charge it. So you can plug this into any standard USB charger and charge it up and you're ready to go. They also include a charging cable, which I think is a nice touch. Now, I know a lot of us have charging cables all over the place, but having a USB-A to USB-C charging cable included with the kit means the only thing you'll need is an external USB charger, and you can even charge this from your computer if you have an open USB-A port. Also included is a quick instruction manual. I mean, it's really simple to use, but read through the manual so you understand how to use it. And then lastly, there's a contact card that has contact information, thanking you for the purchase, and ways to get a hold of the company if you have any questions. But honestly, I've used several of their products. You take them out of the box, you charge the battery, plug it into the headset, and then go outside and just start using the light. It's really a wonderful product. All right, so let's talk about this one in particular. They've gone through a lot of evolutions in their products, and I think this one is sort of the pinnacle of design for a couple of reasons. Number one, there are 2 different light sources. They've got a cob strip on the top here, which is essentially LEDs, that provides 1,400 lumens of intensity. So when you turn that on, you've got 1,400 lumens of brightness in front of you, and they pick the right temperature for that light. It's 5,000 Kelvin, which is sort of in the middle of the scale. It's not warm, it's not blue-white, it's right where you need it to be able to focus on the area in front of you. 5,000 Kelvin will light up the area, it eliminates a lot of shadows, and it just provides a really crisp, bright light, which is great. But in addition to that, and here's where it gets interesting, down the bottom, they've got a focus light that provides an additional 1,100 lumens of light, and you can use them together or you can use them individually. Now the reason this one is nice is because that focus light narrows it down to a cone, so when I'm looking at something, it's right in front of me, right where I'm working, and if I turn my head, the cone follows me. And the LEDs, the cob strip does the same. Actually, I should have said this. The cob strip gives you 210 field of view, which means it's wide. It's almost to the edge of your peripheral vision, so you've got light all around you in front of you. So the cob strip is great if you're walking through the woods, maybe you're a jogger and you want somebody to see you coming, it's getting a little bit dark. Oh, by the way, they've got a reflective strip on the back, so the headlights are going to light that up. So the cob strip is great for general walking around or general projects, but if you're working on something in close and you need a little extra light or a lot of intense light, turn on that focus light and that'll put that beam right in front of you. It's a nice narrow beam. It also is angled down about 15 degrees, which is great because if it's shot straight out, you'd always have to have your head down kind of looking at the project. It would be following your vision. Having that little bit of a dip, that 15-degree dip, puts it down right where your hands are going to be when you're working, and that's really what this is all about. You have both of your hands free. You don't have a flashlight under your arm trying to focus it where you're working and being cramped. This is just a great solution because, again, it's like you've got almost like headlights mounted to your head, where you're looking down. If you turn to get a tool, you can see the tool. If you turn this way to turn a valve off, you can see the valve. It's just really wonderful. So that's the unit itself. Now, the interesting thing about it is that they made it incredibly comfortable. So on the front here, they've got a really nice cloth covering. It's expandable. It's not stiff, it's nice and flexible. And as I mentioned, the battery plugs into the side right here and slides into the sleeve on the back, which has that reflective surface there. So if somebody's coming up from behind with headlights, they'll see that and know you're up there. Another thing I found with this, which I didn't expect, is if you're working in a hot environment. I had to do some work in a really hot environment. I had this on. It acts like a headband. So if you're one of the people that sweat, and I sweat quite a bit, and you normally have that sweat dripping down onto your eyes and you got to wipe your eyes, it's a sweatband. So put it on. You've got beautiful light in front of you. You've got a sort of a band there that can stop that sweat from coming down. And it's just overall a great solution. I'm telling you, the minute I used it for the first time, I thought, why didn't I have this? All this time, I've got a ton of flashlights. I sit them down. I try to point them where I need them, and they're never pointing where I need them. So this is just a wonderful solution. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'm actually going to go outside. It's incredibly cold today. I think it's 5 degrees out there, and I have to go out at night. So I'm going to venture out into the backyard. I'll show you the 6 different modes you can use because, again, I'll explain them first, then I'll talk about them in a minute and show you. But the button on the side right there, you'll tap that. And what's interesting too about this is once you set that, like say for example, you put it on the first setting, which is the cob light, again, 1400 lumens. When you turn it off and turn it back on, it'll stay in that setting. So what you've got to do is tap it to get to the setting you want and then use it. When you turn it off, it'll come back up in that setting. So the first setting is the cob light at full 1400 lumens. The second setting is the cob light, but lower intensity. And that's really great if you're working in the backyard and you don't want to have a light that everybody can see and you're blinding everybody. The third one is a combination of the focus light and the cob light, which is great because that gives you the most amount of illumination. It gives you that focus cone as well as throwing a lot of light in front of you. Then when you move on from there, it's just the focus light, which is great if you have a small project you're working on. The next one is a red light. Now that's interesting because it looks like it's only a white cob, but it's not. It's got red lighting in there, and that's perfect if you're a stargazer. Anybody that's out looking at the stars knows you can't have bright lights because you're gonna destroy that night vision for a couple of minutes, so you don't want to have a white light. Red light is perfect, so that red light allows you to sort of see the stars without triggering that night vision or turning off that night vision that you need to be able to see those stars. It's also great if you're working in an environment, maybe you're a hunter, or you're looking at plans and you don't want flashlights all over the place, it's great for that. And then the final one is a flash. It's sort of a strobe that I don't know how functional that would be if you're working, but I think it's wonderful if you were looking for somebody in the woods and they happen to have this on, you turn that on, you can see them for a ton of space. Like you could be way out in the middle of the woods, then you've got this flashing cob. It absolutely will let you know, hey, he's over there, go get him. So it's great. Anyway, I'll take you outside and I'll show you all 6 of those modes. And then I want to come back again and talk a little bit more about the product because I didn't know I needed this, like I mentioned at the beginning, until I used it the first time. And then I thought, boy, this is not only a great product, but how did I miss this? How all these years did I miss having a flashlight like this? Because I have every manner of flashlight. I have the flexi lights you can wrap around your arm and kind of point at a project. I have the ones that magnetically attach to things. I have tall ones, I have short ones, I have ones on tripods. Nothing works as well as this for me. It's just easy to use. You turn it on, put it on your head, and it illuminates the area in front of you. You can get the job done. So anyway, stay tuned. I'll do the demo, and then I'll come back with a few final thoughts. I'm outside testing the brand new Lightband Pro 2500, which is the brightest and most advanced product the company's released. Now what's different about this unit is that it actually has 2 individual light sources. It has a cob strip across the front, which provides 1400 lumens of light at 5000 Kelvin, which is a great temperature to give you the light you need to focus on an area. And it also has an additional focus beam light that produces another 1100 lumens of brightness, and that's angled down about 15 degrees to put the light exactly where you need it. And you can choose to use both of the lights together, or you can turn them on individually. So it's a really nice combination for either walking around a dark area or working on a project in close. Now let me show you the 6 different choices you have for the lights. So when I first turn it on, you're looking at the cob, and look how bright that is. I mean, it throws a lot of light out in front of you. That's 1400 lumens of light, again at around 5000 Kelvin. Looks like we've had some deer here in the backyard, so you can see the deer prints in the snow. But that's plenty of light for me to walk through a dark area like this and not worry about tripping. The second setting is the same cob strip,
but it's half the brightness. So you can see that it's not nearly as bright, but it still gives me plenty of light to see what I'm doing without worrying about blinding people around me. Now the third setting gives you both lights. So you can see the cob strip is on for the 1400 lumens, and I've got a focus beam in front of me right there that you can see it moves when I move my head. So if I'm working on a project in front of me, you can see how it lights up my hands just great. And watch when I scan up the trees. Look how focused that beam is. I mean, I can see everything out in front of me. Now the next setting actually gives you just the focus beam, so that gives you a better idea what that can do. And that's plenty of light. That's only 1100 lumens, but because of that focus and that angle down, again, it puts the light right in front of me where I'm working. The next setting is the red light. And I like this when I'm out maybe in the woods and I'm stargazing, or if you're a hunter. Having a red light gives you plenty of light to see what you're doing. You can see my hand there, but it's not blinding. It doesn't really let anybody else know you're around. And the last setting is this one, which is sort of an emergency setting. If you're out in the woods and people are looking for you, if you turn this on, they're going to be able to spot you from quite a distance away. And all you have to do to walk through these is tap the little button on the top of the right-hand side, just like that. Pretty impressive product in general.
I hope that demonstration was helpful. And here are a few more of my observations about the Lightband Pro 2500 in case you're thinking a product like this might be right for you. And you can use these to compare it to others you may be considering, because even though Lightband has released a really clever product here, the minute something like this hits the market, other companies notice that and they spin up their factories and start building products that look like this but may not work like this. And there are reasons for that, starting with the fact that Lightband is a company that's been around for a while. They build a wide variety of products. They've had a lot of iterations of their products. They've learned what works, what doesn't work, and they've built all of those learnings into their latest product. Starting with the fact that it's got a really flexible front. It's got cloth on the inside, so when you wear it for a long period of time, you're not getting that band across your forehead like you'll get with a lot of other plastic lighted headbands. They've built in the battery in the back, rechargeable battery instead of replaceable batteries. And then when I get down to the lighting, which really separates a lot of the different products on the market, they've really thought of everything. And I'm giggling because if I were to build something like this, it would look a lot like this, starting with the cob strip. Now the cob strip on this one is incredibly powerful. It's 1400 lumens, which is a lot of light out in front of you. But it doesn't stop there. If you notice closely, when you put this on your head, the cob strip kind of curls around both sides. What that means is you've got 210 degrees field of view in front of you of light. So it's going to throw light in front of you and to either side. A lot of the other products on the market are very focused in front of you, which seems to be okay. But if you're walking, there could be something just out of your vision, just out of that lighted space that you could trip over. With this one, you've got light, again, almost out to the edge of your peripheral vision, which is really important. They also picked the right temperature. Now, temperature is a measure of sort of the tone, if you will, of the light. Now, the lower numbers are warmer. That's great if you're in the house. The higher numbers tend to be blue with LED lights. Nobody likes that. It's very glare-inducing. They picked a 5000 Kelvin, which is right in that zone that you've got a lot of light. You can pick up details in front of you, and that's really important if you're working on a project. Other companies have picked higher Kelvin, which means they seem to be brighter, but they're in that sort of glare range where you're squinting when you're looking at the light. It's bouncing off of everything reflective. With this one, it's soft enough where it provides the light you need without being incredibly reflective off of surfaces. And again, the other innovation is in addition to the cob light, they've got a focus light on the bottom, which can contribute another 1100 lumens of light. So together you've got 2500 lumens, which by the way is why it's a 2500. So you've got 2500 lumens of light in front of you on that work area. That focus light is angled down 15 degrees. And again, there are other products on the market that may have a cob light, they may have another light, but they're not thinking through the fact that it's a focused, narrow beam light, which is exactly what you need to put that light on the project, and it's angled down 15 degrees, so you're not playing with your head the whole time, trying to move that lighting source down to where you're working. It's right where you need it, and you've got the general illumination with the cob light if you need it, in addition to the focus light, which is on the product. So I think they've done a really good job to think things through, and I just like the product an awful lot. I think it's reflective red, so people can see you when you're walking around with it. If you're jogging, it's pretty obvious. They took the extra step to put the reflective strip on the back, so again, if you're out at night walking your dog or you're jogging and a car comes by, they're going to reflect off the back of this and they're going to say, oh, there's somebody over to the side of the road, be careful when you're driving past them. I just think it's a wonderful project, and in addition to that, it's one of those tools, again, that I really didn't think through. Like, I've had other lighted headbands before and they've worked, they haven't worked, whatever. I picked up a Lightband product, I don't know, about 2 years ago, and I've used it ever since. And when the 2500 came out, just couldn't wait to get my hands on it to try it because it's much brighter than the one I have today, and it just does everything I need. So I like it a lot, and I think you're going to like it a lot as well. And that's all I really had. So thanks an awful lot for watching. I hope you found value in this particular video, and I'll see you again next time.